Okay, here are my comments about the division worksheet. First of all, as you can probably guess, don't use a calculator. Okay, now, so things you should know about the worksheet. First of all, instead of writing division problems with a division sign, I've written them as fractions. So instead of 15 divided by 3, I've written 15 over 3. The answer is going to be the same either way, and you're going to find yourself dealing with fractions a lot more in algebra than you will with this division sign. So the basic rule for division in algebra is this. First of all, as with multiplication, deal with the coefficients by themselves. So in other words, when we have 15x to the fourth over 3x to the third, the first thing you're thinking of is, what is 15 divided by 3? So that's going to be 5. And then what is x to the fourth divided by x to the third? And the rule for division is, take the exponent that you have in your denominator, this x to the third, so the 3 is the exponent, and subtract that from the exponent in the numerator. So 4 minus 3 is going to be x to the first. And of course I don't have to write that 1, since if I just write 5x, that's going to be understood. Now, a nice thing about division is you can check your answer. So all you do is you take the number in the bottom of your fraction, the denominator, multiply that by your answer, and you should get the numerator. In other words, if I multiply 3x to the third times 5x, well, 3 times 5 is going to give me 15, and x to the third times x is going to be x to the fourth. Here's another example. In this case, I've got 15x squared over 3x to the fifth. I'm going to do exactly the same process. 15 divided by 3 is 5. And then x squared over x to the fifth, I'm going to take the exponent in the denominator, the 5, subtract that from the exponent in the numerator. So I'll have 2 minus 5, and I'm going to get x to the negative 3. 2 minus 5 is negative 3. I could check this by multiplying the denominator by my answer. I would get back to 15x squared. Okay? Some of you may know that you can rewrite this as 5 over x to the third. For now, we're not going to worry about that last step. So all of the answers you're going to have are going to be left with without a fraction. In other words, there won't be any kind of anything as a denominator. You may have negative exponents. That's okay for now. Okay, and the last thing I want to mention, and this is pretty much the same thing that we saw with multiplication, is when you've got something that looks complicated, like 12, a to the fifth, b to the third, c squared over 4a squared b c squared, deal with the coefficients separately, then deal with each of the variables separately. So I'm just going to think of this as, what is 12 divided by 4? What is a to the fifth over a squared? What is b to the third over b? What is c squared over c squared? And remember, by the way, when you get to this last part, c squared over c squared, well, 2 minus 2 is just c to the 0, and that would just be 1. But if there are other numbers, like the answer I'm going to get to this division problem, I wouldn't even have to write the 1. Okay? So I guess that's all I need to tell you. As with the other worksheets, you're going to find answers here and there along the way. Take a look at the answers and let them be examples for how to do the problems that follow those ones with the answers. Okay? Take care. Have fun.